What's going on, guys? It's the Hunter Project here. Welcome back to my channel. Today I will be going over everything you need to know about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak as of the 25th of January 2022. So without wasting any time, let's jump straight into the video. With Monster Hunter World Iceborne releasing as a DLC expansion, rather than a standalone game with the ultimate suffix, it's no surprise that Capcom is going on a similar execution for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, given the success of Iceborne. Both, of course, still delivering essentially the same additions, the main one being the addition of G rank or Master rank for those newer players who came to the series from Monster Hunter World. Both of these names for this ranking reference the exact same thing. G rank, Master rank, they are literally one in the same thing. So this basically adds a new level of monster difficulty accompanied by a ton of new quests and higher tier to equipment. Equipment that already exists in the game right now will most likely get a G version of it, and of course you will have to tackle the G rank version of that monster, or the said whatever the materials are for the high rank version. You will have to find the G rank equivalent, and there of course will be some monsters that will be exclusive to G rank or Master rank. I will probably, for the rest of this video, if I do mention it, go by the term G rank as that's what I'm used to. But basically some monsters, like how in Monster Hunter World Fatalis was exclusive to G rank, same with Elatrion. So those type of monsters, there will be their equivalents in Rise Sunbreak that will be tied specifically to G rank, and there won't be any high rank equivalent, or of course low rank, but that's very unlikely for it not to have a high rank and have a low rank equivalent. But now I'm going off on a tangent. But just to add on to this, the requirements for unlocking Sunbreak's content is very simple. All you got to do is just complete the base game story. I don't think they will have any type of mechanic to allow you to bypass the base game story, but they might do so. I'm not too sure. I'm guessing they're probably going to release an armor set to allow you to breeze through the story, similar to how they did the Defender set in World. But I doubt Capcom will ever implement a way to just skip over the base story, as of course, especially for newer players, there is a lot to be learned in that base story before you jump into the hardest difficulty. In addition to that, we will also see a few gameplay additions, most likely focusing on the new wire bug and expanding upon its already existing concepts, such as the wire bug traversal moves, as well as the special wire bug attacks that are individual to each weapon. I wouldn't be surprised if they added a few additional moves as well for each weapon alongside another style for each of them, as of course it is a kind of a new game, but it technically is an expansion to the base game. But regardless, we will probably see a lot more on this in the near future, and I'm guessing when we get the full release as well, we'll probably get some nerfs and buffs as well, just so it mixes up the game a tiny bit, as even though every weapon is pretty much equal, there are weapons here and there that do have a slight advantage to being easier to use and more cheesy. So of course a lot of this will be subject to change as they test the new mechanics that they're going to implement. But we will be also getting a new hub as well that is called Elgato, and this will be the base of operations for the expansion. This is the only location we know of so far, and from this region it's the only place that we've actually had a look at, even though it was relatively brief. I'm sure we will be getting something in the near future that will expand upon this area and see what other terrains we will be navigating in Sunbreak. But once again, this is all most likely going to be revealed very soon, considering summer 2022 is not very far away. That's roughly 4 to 6 months, depending on how early or late they want to release it in that time frame. But regardless, I am really excited to see what other areas we will be getting. I hope that we do get quite a few new areas, as of course it isn't as fleshed out as World's areas, so I don't think they will need to be limited with how many different various areas they can implement. So I hope we get, at least from the top of my head, if I could just say a hopeful number, maybe 3, 4, possibly even 5 new areas to explore and navigate and fight monsters on. And of course that does not include arenas, as arenas I like to think is not very hard to make, considering they're just like a little boxed off area. But in addition to this, it is shown in the teaser that we will have to cross the ocean on a ship to reach Elgato. So Kamura is definitely on a different island where the woman from the teaser has been sent from to fetch us to fix whatever issues going on in this new area. Most likely being caused by the monster that we saw in the first trailer, the really sinister looking flagship monster, Malzino. And that brings us on to our final part of this video, the monsters. So as I was saying, Malzino is the flagship, and we saw it in the first trailer. It looks really cool, and it is a powerful Elder Dragon. Capcom revealed that Malzino supposedly sustains itself on the blood of other monsters, which is very like vampiric, and it adds to that gothic theme that we saw in the first trailer, which I think did such a good job of showcasing. It was a very sinister looking trailer. They did really good with like the lighting, and just the overall design of the monster as well was really cool. And not a lot has been revealed about this flagship. The appearance is most of what we got, and of course just the vibe we got from it I think was extremely well done, and the overall appearance as well looks extremely awesome. I love the vampire type aesthetic to the monster, and it does look pretty scary, and I hope the gameplay is able to simulate that feeling we got from watching the trailer. In addition to the flagship, we got also a look at the new monster called Garon, which is a werewolf-like monster that belongs to the Fanged Wyvern class and is of ice element. This looks like a werewolf take on Tobi Kadachi, at least from how I see it. It's like a Tobi Kadachi crossed with a Garon kind of, and I really love the design. It's a really sweet design, like especially with like the tail. It's got a very beefy tail. It reminds me of something like a Zinogre, or once again an Garon. Like, it's got a really strong looking tail, so I'm guessing we are going to get some deadly tail swipe attacks from this monster, and I do hope that it is at least a mid-tier monster. It could be an early game monster, but right now I can be hopeful, as I don't think they revealed it. If they have, you can just drop it down below, or you can drop down below what you hope it is as well. But for me personally, I hope it is at least a mid-tier. I don't mind if it's a higher tier monster, but if it is a higher tier monster, I hope they put it in the lower level of that category, just because I don't think it looks that insane, but it does look pretty awesome that it deserves to be in the mid game. And finally, we have the last monster which we are aware of, and that is the old school Shogun Senator, which will be returning. And while we've not had a lot said about this monster, or just its reveal in general since its reveal trailer, we can safely say that we probably will see a lot more crabs return, and I hope that we do see Garon return. That would be so awesome, especially in a rampage, as of course we will be getting a lot of rampages alongside the normal quests that will be G rank. So that would be so awesome if we did get a rampage that we had to defend our like Hamura village, or even Elgato if they want to implement it in that form. Like, if we had to defend against the Garon that's just trampling over our defenses, that would be so awesome to see. And even like a Lao Shanlung, I would not be too fussed if we got either of those two returning with like redefined engagements, of course in the rampage form. And I really think that would be such an awesome thing to just bring back. And especially they could tie it into the rampage, which is the new game mode, so you have a bit of old, bit of new. And I think just overall it would be super cool to see both of them, or even one of them in rampage form. But with that said, guys, that is a quick summary, or I'd like to think it is a quick summary of what we know about Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, everything you need to know so far. As always, a like would be extremely appreciated if you did enjoy, and subscribe for a lot more Monster Hunter content. Don't forget to join our Discord, link is at the top of the description. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.